Foreigners Speak Candid Truths About Germany in Their Own Words, Part 2. By Cringeworthy, Germany, March 21, 2021. Here is Part 2 of my series, Foreigners Speak Candid Truths About Germany, where we continue to document one of the biggest German shit shows on the internet on TrueGermany.com, where foreigners have left a barrage of comments since 2007 regarding their nightmarish experiences living in Germany among the cringeworthy Germans as visible others. Betty Besch says, May 29, 2017 at 6:22 p.m.
Germans are moody, complain about everything, and are judgmental. They are cold and lack emotion. Every day is different. Almost anything can set them off. Duck personality.
Boernbrit says, March 14, 2017 at 6:26 a.m. I am German and what I have to say, most Germans are terrible people.
Robert says, July 11, 2016 at 1:04 a.m. I am a German teacher, and have studied the Germans for many years. I came to the realization that after some 35 years of dedicating myself to this profession, I have had very few positive experiences with Germany and Germans. They root and they think they know it all. They're the perfect humans to become Nazis, even though they now say that they're not. They're cold and seemingly unfeeling people. I would stop anyone from becoming involved with studying German. Ironic, right? Yes, but that is the way it is.
Herbert A. Long says, the 31st of May, 2016 at 9:44 p.m. Germans are rude, period. They are self-serving, superficial and have no idea what is going on around them and in the world. They are angry as shit. Clueless, little trolls who whine and bitch, but don't have the gumption to do anything about it. What the fuck says, the 7th of June, 2016 at 3:01 p.m. Germany is a horrible place to be. If you are just traveling through or visiting for a short time, it may not be so glaring. But if you stay for a longer period of time, you will probably become depressed or become an arrogant asshole yourself. I have been living here for far too long. The only reason I am not moving to another country is that I currently don't have access to the kind of money necessary to just move out of this shithole. I don't look very German and therefore I can't count the times I have been called a monkey by these imbeciles. But one day, I am going to leave this place for good, never to return.
Callie says, October 15, 2015 at 4:33 p.m. The Germans I know are bossy, rude and pompous. My mother-in-law has to be related to Hitler. She works for hard at trying to control others, yet lacks enough control to be happy with herself. Blame it on Hitler? She has the gumption to exclude people even when it causes pain to others. And if you want to know how to live, just ask her because she has all the answers. She's a bitch. Being married to her son challenges my inner being.
Says, the 8th of August, 2015 at 7:58 a.m. Horrible people in my opinion. They are quite unashamed for anything they've done. Germans like to try and draw parallels between things that have nothing to do with one another so they can deflect any blame that they may have to accept. Liars, degenerates, thieves and deceivers. Do not trust them, ever. Do not trust people who lack respect for their neighbors and fellow humans. Germans cannot take criticism for anything. Everything they do is correct in their narrow minds. They truly believe they are incapable of being wrong. They are cold, self-centered, egoistic, self-righteous, unfriendly, dishonest, untrustworthy, conniving, calculated assholes who deserved worse than what they for financially wrecking Europe. At least 80% of all Germans hold Nazi tendencies and either defend or condone what the Nazis did, because the Nazis were German. And Germans would never criticize other Germans. Nationalistic, ethnocentric assholes who bring their ideology with them wherever they go, especially in places where it isn't welcome. Germans believe with all their hearts that they are so smart, when in reality they were always behind the British, in almost everything. They are truly creatures.
Dog says. May 15, 2016 at 4:13 p.m. Germans are primitive-minded. They lack self-awareness and literally break down when even the smallest amount of criticism is directed toward them. They cannot handle anything thrown against them. They can't bring themselves to admit when they're wrong, or see the point. They also lack creativity. All of their car models look the same every year. They haven't re-engineered anything in a long time. Not to mention how ridiculously overpriced their cars are. Their architecture is primitive and so is their infrastructure. But they have this belief that they are the best country in Europe. What a leap of faith to even believe this. And when I hear their language, I want to slam my head against the wall. So primitive. Germans act with no humanity most of the time and their history shows what they are capable of. Their wars all but killed Europe. Thankfully the US injected money into the European economy after the war. Germany also owes a lot of money to countries they ripped off in World War II, and they defaulted on most of their debt. Germany has caused a laundry list of problems in European affairs and they don't seem to realize it. Which is really annoying. Germans are taught to forget their bad deeds.
Sense says. July 18, 2015 at 2:56 p.m. Reading these comments, it brings back some truly unpleasant memories. Germans are indeed the worst of the worst people I have ever met in my life. And believe me, I have traveled a lot in all continents and many countries. Let me think. Arrogant, barbaric, blunt, obnoxious, sociopath wankers that lack any sense of humility, humanity, respect, integrity, solidarity and understanding for other people. Terribly rude psychopaths. They have a unique false sense of superiority that surpasses every imagination. They lack common sense and emotional binding or basic social skills and will rush to criticize and punish anyone who will stand on their way. Unfriendly and often vindictive, they often try to disguise their nastiness with a false coat of supposed to be polite manners that only serves to embarrass them. It comes as no surprise to me to read similar comments in this blog cause they are absolutely true. I am wondering when they will ever stop to be so annoying and provocative. I am also disgusted with the recent policy of their government that for one more time think they can dominate Europe and boss everybody around. Crowd bullies. The Fourth Reich will lose and this time the loss will be more devastating than both previous times together. Get it straight, nobody likes your lot cause you are evil scum. Time to look yourselves in the mirror and do some self-criticism. Auf never again Wiedersehen.
Says. The 25th of August, 2016 at 8:46 p.m. I am a mixed-race girl born and raised in Germany. For the past 10 years I've lived in the US and Ireland. I came back to Germany a year ago and it has been the most difficult and frustrating year of my life. Most Germans lack any ability to truly self-reflect and realize how innately racist they are, even when they claim not to be. Everything is always everybody else's fault. If people complain about the majority of Germans being rude, well then it must be their own fault. Germans are generally rude, period. They give no more than they absolutely have to strangers unless they can gain something. You can say a lot about Americans being superficial, but at least if you have a bad day in America, you can bet somebody's going to give you a smile, somebody's going to try to help you. In Germany just going outside could make your day even worse. I really wanted to love this country and be proved wrong, mainly because my family still lives here, but I won't be able to take it much longer. Once you get to know other cultures and the way people treat each other, even if you're a stranger, this bullshit becomes unacceptable. Furthermore, Germans think they are so far advanced in modern society and are so much better than other countries, but so many things here are so backwards. For example, it took 4 months to get an internet connection to our home compared to 3 days in Ireland. It's impossible to find a phone plan with unlimited internet GB. In Ireland we had unlimited everything for €20 a month, whereas you'd pay €30 here for a meager 5 gigabytes. We've noticed neighbors spying at us through their spy holes when we had guests over. My sister was asked why her child's hair is blonde as hers isn't, by an absolute stranger. Stares all the time. How I miss the days of just blending in and not be made to feel uncomfortable because I might look different. I experienced mobbing for the first time in my life. The bureaucracy is an absolute nightmare. Blatant discrimination in the workplace and the education system are the norm. Foreigners are to be kept small. I feel comforted by the fact that so many people can see this country for what it really is. It's hostile and negative, always skeptical towards the different. Ignorant and insensitive. Don't get me started on the sense of humor. It's funny to make fun of others. Even this year one comedian painted himself black 'cause that's what's funny to Germans. Names like Jew Street and Moore Street still exist, and in a lot of places it's normal to call a certain sweet a nigger's kiss. I've met so many Germans who have left because they themselves wanted something different and couldn't take their own culture anymore. So it's not just a few foreigners who have no right to an opinion anyway in the German mindset. There are a few truly kind-hearted people, but sadly only a few. If you're a German who blends in perfectly, you have no fucking clue what it is like for people who for issues of race or language might not fit in so perfectly. If you're overweight, black, disabled, techish, poor, different looking, you will have a hard time in this country. However, by refusing to change, Germany throws away so much of its potential that other countries welcome with open arms. I want to say I have hope that it will change, but this problem is so deep-seated that I just can't see it changing. Because for what? Fortunately, I can call many places my home and will be able to return to living in friendlier cultures that might not be perfect but will not be hostile towards me either. I love my German family and my German friends that I've made outside of this country, and I also love certain traits and qualities. But it does not compare to the hate, jealousy, rough handling that I am exposed to on a daily basis. I guess I will forever have to love this country from a distance. Share on Facebook. Tweet on Twitter. Pin on Pinterest.